What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and we can finally play Microsoft Flight Simulator on the last-gen Xbox One family of consoles, and this is because of the power of xCloud and those Series X blades that we now have access to. Now, Microsoft has promised Flight Simulator in xCloud for quite a while now, and I have been waiting a long time so that we could check it out on the Xbox One. So that's what we're going to be able to do here. We're going to be able to finally play this game on the older gen console. Now, if we pull it up here in Game Pass, you can see we don't have an install option, and we only have play because we are on last gen, and this is an X or S only title. Even if you are on a newer console and you want to save a big chunk of space at that 141 gigabytes, this might be the kind of game that you want to go ahead and stream. No, it won't be the native experience, but it works pretty well. So let's go ahead and launch the game and click play here and get right into it. I'm going to go ahead and let this go real time until we get into the game just so you can see what the process is if you're not already familiar with what it's like to launch a game in the cloud from your Xbox. It's a pretty smooth, pretty quick experience, and once things get launched up, it doesn't take very long at all. I do think the PC app itself is a little bit faster than the console, but quality-wise, I do prefer the streaming on console over the PC app most of the time. So now that we've gotten into the game here, let's go ahead and speed things up and get into the menu of Flight Sim. Alright, so we've gone through the rest of the launch here and we are right into the game, and we'll go ahead and jump into our world map and just into a flight really quickly so we can see what performance is like. This game itself runs at 30 FPS. It can run at an unlocked. I have a frame rate test for Series S and X that I'll put a link in the description if you want to see how this game runs locally on the console. But as far as in the cloud, they're not going to have that unlocked frame rate, so it should be running 30 FPS. The stream itself, though, is 1080p 60, and that's the cap right now for Xbox. And as we look at the map and the globe rolling around here, you can tell we're at 30 FPS, and you can see a little stutter and jankiness there, which you'll get with 30 anyway, but not too bad considering we're streaming it. And off the bat, I could see that the bitrate was much cleaner and much less pixelation in this game. I can see why they delayed it, because they put a good bit of work into the image quality here. Some other games on xCloud are so pixelated that you wouldn't even be able to read some of the text that you see on screen now, but ultimately for 1080p 60 streaming a 30 FPS game, the text and everything stays fairly good, fairly legible, and fairly clean. I was much more worried about what we were going to see here, so I'm happy to see the image quality on Xbox and on xCloud. Now, as far as the controller latency, I'm just connected to my Xbox as I normally would be with my Xbox controller wirelessly, and input latency is fantastic. I have great input latency when it comes to the PC app on Xbox and with this game, and I have great latency when it comes to running it on the console itself as well. Xbox has really done a lot of work the past 6 months to a year on that input latency. Sometimes, in some games, it's still pretty bad, but in many, it's getting better, and Flight Sim is definitely one of those where I can tell they've put the work in. Again, as we move around in the game here, I was expecting to see a lot more loss in detail and more pixelation than I'm seeing. Now, one fun thing you can do is still go find some interesting bugs where they forgot to finish the road here. The cars can still drive through, but yeah, we have an issue. These are always fun to go find. But anyways, guys, it's really cool to be able to run Microsoft Flight Simulator on last-gen Xbox One consoles. I know a lot of people have been waiting for this. This is a beautiful, fantastic game that I spent a lot of time with when it came out, and I'm really happy that we can finally play it on other consoles and that other people can experience this that haven't already. Make sure you've got that Xbox Ultimate Game Pass subscription, though, so you can access xCloud. Alright guys, thanks a lot for coming to check out the video. As always, I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, subscribe, give a thumbs up, and ring that bell so you know when new videos come out. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one.